On this episode of Running in Circles, we're playing Blaze on Hanamura. It's cool! Today's team comps: Zul'jin, Vala, Blaze, Karazim, Sergeant Hammer versus Azmodan, Rhaegar, Varian, Abathur, and Yrel. I don't know what this Sergeant Hammer is doing in the top lane, because I've clearly got it with my beautifully coordinated Pinata and Blaze. But typically, when you're playing Blaze, you are in the off lane. As much as I love him as a main tank, and I do love him as a main tank, which we are in this game anyway, he's better in the off lane, I believe. I am not super sure why we're having so much trouble figuring out that Hammer needs to go bottom. So I'm just gonna get these guys a little bit of information. Maybe just let them fucking know where everyone belongs, and hope that someone gets the picture. Apparently, it's just not gonna happen. Hammer would much rather siege up and deal damage to the building and eat a whole bunch of damage standing still. Gonna turn off this stuff, get ourselves a globe, because we took our level 1 talent New Habits, because we are going to tank our combustion ult instead of bunker. And when we pop combustion, we want to be unstoppable, so we get the full channel and make sure that shit dies. Luckily, the enemy team sent 2 people up here to deal with the hammer, so I guess it worked out better than expected. So now it's just me, which is working out wonderfully. Way to go, us. Strategies that don't seem like they're going to work, and then they do. We're looking for globes still right now. Level 4 on the precipice. But we do have a traditional offlane matchup here with Varian versus Blaze, and the enemy team finally reacting to our 4-man push in the bottom lane. Gonna go ahead and get some mana, because the mana costs on Blaze are not insignificant. What you want to be doing with this character to clear is using your Q. Your W is great for like clearing when you're walking away, but it costs an obscene amount of mana, and it's gonna run you down so fast. So fast. Plus, Q and auto attacks do just fine for AoE. And there's really not a whole lot you have to do between the two. They're both ranged. Hey, thanks for hanging in that puddle of fire. We're going to turn on our armor, grab ourselves a globe, and run away. Run away super fast, because that was a quickly approaching Varian gank, and I didn't want to take any more damage than I did. The other thing that I'm trying to do with this build, because we're the main tank, is build a whole lot of damage reduction. Partly because that is a lot of how Blaze is going to keep people alive, because he doesn't have really strong CC outside of his slow and his tackle. So jet propulsion is a really good stun, but it does have a wind up. It is very easily telegraphed and dodged, especially with the movement speed changes. And yeah, jet propulsion is wonderful, but it's kind of one of those abilities you have to use when the enemy team is walking into you to line up really good. Gonna get the globe real quick and then come back. And the slow on your W is amazing, but it's completely turned off when you have to light your W on fire. So you can see the trade-off. Boom! You're just gonna stand there, suck fire. We are using Meltdown right now, which is our level 4 talent, to decrease Varian's damage. Gonna get him on the stun as he tries to walk away. Can't kill him for whatever reason. It's fine. He must have blocked a lot of damage with the parry and got me after the heals. Just keeps walking in. He's got the Abathur hat, so I guess he feels invincible while he's Twin Blades. Light that on fire, get a little bit of healing, turn on our D, and reduce all that damage with stun. Nice. If Blaze is good at anything, it is turning around mid-fight. So his engage is very situational and okay, but my god, when you are being chased by an enemy team and you can hit your E button, it's like, where did they go? Our talents, though, after level 4, level 7, we took Crossfire. Crossfire is absolute have-to-pick every time. It is Blaze's main form of damage, and it is very difficult to land, but without it, you're throwing away a huge amount of damage on your Q, which is a substantial amount of damage for your kit anyway. The other talents on this tier... Incinerator Gauntlets, it's just not... It kind of fucks up your whole CC ability with your W, which is... like, you need to be able to slow people. So lighting it on fire by accident with your auto attacks just isn't... Yeah. I guess it's meant to kind of help Blaze have a jungle build, which you can take Adrenal and Stimpack and Adhesive Petroleum maybe? I don't know. Like, there is a build that you can use this for, but Crossfire is just too good. It lets Blaze be a more damage-dealing tank. Gorilla and Kill I don't often play with. By 2 seconds. It could be good. I mean, the more that I think about it, having 2 seconds on... it would definitely help with the clear. I don't know. Maybe I'll give that a shot. Play with Grill and Kill over Crossfire. As of right now, I don't see a reason to take the other two, especially if you're building Combustion, because Crossfire gives you ways to kill people over walls, ways to kill backliners, ways to just kill things, period, which the other two do not. Crossfire is just all-purpose good all the time, whereas the other two have very specific situations, which I'm still figuring out. So there's the slow, first big slow, got the engage, hitting our D, there's the combustion, gonna land on 2 people. Unfortunately, not gonna do much to peel the Barian. See if we can stun him, got him away from the Cool Gym. There's the clone 2. Doing a fantastic job at keeping stuff away from our backline, if I can say so myself. Got the stun. Kerosene straight punching the living shit, healing everybody, staying on top of the hammer for as long as possible. Vala goes down, but we're going to trade 1 for 2, and I'm going to go get some mana while our samurai pushes the bottom lane. Take a look at that! This is the objective on this map. This thing is like, whatever. This thing is freaking OP. But they have an Abathur, so they've got plenty of... They don't have Mule. They had the ability to keep the building alive, sure. But... whatever. Hammer looking pretty dangerous. That is not an Ardent Defender, even though I do really like that ult now, with the amount of armor that you get from it. Turning off damage with our D, got the meltdown going, don't want Hammer to die in the back. Twin Blades is trying to find something, but he's going down. The damage was there. Can we get her? Oof. Oof. Don't work for that Abathur yet. Or maybe it was the Rhaegar heal. I don't know. She walked away with less than 5% of her health, so... that's fine. Let's go ahead and burn up their samurai. There's nothing they can do to stop us. Well, they could stop us if they all came up here right now, but... they don't seem to understand that. Which is great! Typically, when you're in that position, you want all 5 of your teammates, or at least 4 of your teammates, to kill the camp on the other side of the map, because it's dangerous. Lighting him up with the combustion, getting him all hot and bothered. Our D, what is this called? Pyromania. How can I forget that? That's such a cool name. It does deal a significant amount of damage. It's not something that you can ignore, so when you're playing with Blaze and you engage with it, flip it on immediately, especially if you're building new habits. These globes are going to decrease the cooldown by a ridiculous amount. And this is honestly my favorite level 1 talent, even though the cooldown reduction is really cool too. Being unstoppable with your Pyromania is absolutely fucking nuts. Not super sure why we're dying in the bottom lane, but that's okay. Trying to make some global stuff happen here, but they do have an Asmo, so there's only so much that we can do. We've got his attention. He's got an Avatar hat. I'm going to turn off some of his damage a little bit and try to fight with it. Doesn't seem to want to leave. I mean, I can keep engaging on him all day. I'm probably going to kill myself, though. Luckily, the enemy team is still in the bottom lane. Oh my god, I'm dead. I'm super dead. Gonna get killed by minions. Oh, maybe not. Out. Can't stop me. You can't stop me. Yeah. Jet propulsion is not just an engage, it's an escape as well. It's a dash. Who'd have believed it? So, we're still doing the offlane thing. We're 16 to 15 right now. I kind of want to engage with the level advantage, but my team's walking away, so that's fine. We're just going to keep clearing, making sure that our XP stays nice and toasty in its lead. There you go. I think the plan is to go for the camp, but they got it. Zul'jin has finished his quest, luckily. Now we have effectively scaled into our late game explosive comp. We have auto attack though for some reason. I completely whiffed it. Gonna get the combustion on the Asmo though. It's too big to get away. We're not gonna lose hammer, are we? We didn't get the Asmo? What is going on? Big stun on 2 people. Nailed it. Marion goes down. I got my charge interrupted. Missed that one completely. Asmo walked back over here for some reason. We're gonna light him up with the crossfire. Eat a whole bunch of mines on that bridge. And then take ourselves a samurai because there's 2 people dead and there's nothing they can do about it. So much healing there. He is going, looks like full cooldown reduction build. So neat. It is a lot of healing, to be sure. The amount of cooldown we get with that build is nuts! I haven't played that character in a while. Maybe we should do a video on it. Anyway, here we are. Got the big stun. Got the big samurai slice. She took an extreme amount of damage. No Avatar hat is going to save her. Oh my god, hammer. Right in the middle of the clones. And the twin blades. Would have been a good palm if she had just walked back in and eaten some damage. Got it. Nailed it. Perfect. Let's go get ourselves a building while the objective shoots at the other one. That is keep number 1 down. Working on keep number 2 after we get this down. Get our... Nailed it. The word for that cleanse. The word for that cleanse. But it looks like we're going to get the bottom keep as well, and that thing is gone. Gotta get some mana. Every time that you demount with Pinata, it explodes. And it's adorable! I love it! Look at it! With his little piggy eyes and his little piggy horns. Oh, full of candy and surprises and love. It's wonderful. Gonna get ourselves another samurai because, like I said, this is the objective. If you're not getting the samurai, you're not doing much. So, let's do things. We could be as aggressive as we want to right now. Well, I guess we don't want to. We didn't have 20, which is fine. I can understand why we don't want to engage without it. But, at the same time, they have an avatar. They don't have any keys. We can push up on them. We can get stuff going. Turn all their damage off is what we're going to do. And then we're going to start flinging some more fire, get some more stuns while they walk in. Rip a big old combustion on that Varian. He did not use the turret. Seems like an oversight on his part. They have 2 levels down. We still got 4 seconds on that camp. I'm just going to clear the wave, make a path for it when it's up, and make sure that our team is ready. We have got our camp going in on the bottom lane also. So this could potentially end the game. We're all here. Not super sure what... Anyway, there's 5 of us. It's a hammer comp. It's got a samurai right behind it. There's the turrets focusing the Urel for us. Really appreciate that turret. Thank you. Shooting. Shoot. Shooting. Come on. Come on. Can we get him? Can we get him? He's slow. Nailed it. Didn't even have to kill him with our Q. After hiding in the base, taking a nap. There goes the core. Samurai OP. Hammer OP. Blaze OP. Kerosene OP. Oh my god, it's me! Look at my little piggy. Isn't that adorable? And that is the cutest little pig. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed it. That was Blaze. Here are your talents. One more time. New habits at level 1. Meltdown at 4. 7 is Crossfire. Combustion is 10. Nanomachine Coating at 13. This was to reduce the attack speed of the Varian and the Varian clone. This level 13 is your counter tier. So you have Nanomachine Coating and you have... what's that other one? Suppressive Fire, which reduces... Both of these are offense reduction talents. So your W is going to reduce attack speed, whereas if you pick your Q is going to reduce spell power. So depending on the enemy team's carry, who's dealing the most damage, or who's being the biggest pain in the ass, honestly, you're going to reduce their damage based on one of these talents. There's another talent on this tier that is that Fuel Leak? I think it is Fuel Leak, which is kind of your generalist talent. You're just going to use that one to get oil down when you charge, which is still super good. Having another way to slow things down and light stuff on fire is neat, but those other 2 talents make Blaze much, much, much more impactful at reducing damage with those and Meltdown. So, pretty freaking crazy. And then 16, Thermal Protection, because I wanted the armor for charging. We were hitting multiple targets each time with the charges, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. At least 20 armor if you hit 2 people. Like, right? Pretty freaking cool. There's also the spell armor activatable on this tier, and then healing with Pyromania is also very, very, very strong. I like this one just mainly for the cooldown reduction on the E. And then Flashfire at 20 to upgrade our ult, because the only other choice at 20 is the slow people gauntlet auto attack damage, and I don't think that talent is ever really worth it. So if you're going to pick Blaze, you're going to upgrade his ult no matter what you do, but there you have it. I hope you enjoyed it. Here are the stats one more time. Wow. You guys are really bringing up the rear, huh? Bringing up the caboose! That's how that works, though. I hope you had yourself a good time, learned something, and I will see you in the next one.